E qui con noi, penso la prima volta in Italia, Samuel Keret. Hello man, you alright? Nice to meet you man. You okay? Take a seat. Allora. So Samuel, that's very interesting. I did this very quick, dirty poll, I would say, that to understand, in how long before driverless car, and I would say the audience say 5 years is a possible time frame. So what do you think? Let's start from there. I mean, is they are really coming so quick, or never, or what happened?
No, it's coming. It's avoidless, and it's going to change our life and the way we consume and use all kinds of resources in a way that we don't even understand. And in many ways, the change of the internet is very similar to the change that not only the autonomous car, but the transportation going to make on our life. We have different levels of autonomous car. What you see today is level 3 and 4. Level 3 is where you can drive on the highway. So very simple road, highway, going straight. That exists today. There are trucks in the US, there are cars that are driving. Tesla, you can lift your hands from the wheel and the car will drive. And there's level 4. Level 4 is a car that actually drives.
And this one you say it works?
It works, yes.
So you're sure you go there like that, it works?
Yeah, don't go to sleep.
Okay. Be ready, but
I think technology is working. What is really behind is regulation.
Okay.
There are all kinds of things that are changing now, especially in Europe, in Germany. There is now a new law in the area of where you can actually change the liability between the car manufacturer and the driver. Okay. So, as long as the driver holding the wheel, he is responsible. Once he's letting go of the wheel, actually the car manufacturer is responsible.
All right.
And that's something that's evolving and can solve the regulation. So going back...
This one, sorry, Samuel, in Naples will be a problem in Italy. Because everyone will say, I didn't touch it, I was not there. But, okay, sorry.
It's a problem of Fiat, maybe.
Joke. But anyway, okay, so that because you have an insurance problem, of course.
Yes.
There. Yeah.
And level 4 is a car that actually drives by itself, but in a very known and familiar route. So think about a campus in a university, and you have a route of a bus. That also exists. The level 5 is where we are all aiming for. Level 5 is a car that you go inside, you want to drive to any destination, any place, and it drives by itself. This will take anything between 10 to 15 years, and I'm not willing to take a bet on that.
Right.
It's technology and regulation. And it's mainly regulation, but there's no question that this will happen. Kids that are born today, maybe not in Italy, but in most countries, will not know how to drive. They will have no sense in learning how to drive. You go, you sit in the house, you think, or you take your phone and you say, I want to get to a destination. The car will come, pick you up, drop you, and that's it. And
that's crazy. If you think.
It's not crazy. I think what happens today...
And they will treat us like dinosaurs, like...
We are dinosaurs, by the way. Let me give you some facts. Think how crazy it is. We are human beings with moods, with feelings, we drink, we use our mobile, and then we go into a car of 3 to 5 tons, driving at 100 kilometers per hour, other cars going in the next direction. It makes no logic. About 1 million people are dying every year from car accident. 1 million. And our kids will come to us and say, we don't get you. Were you crazy? How did you allow human beings to go into cars and kill 1 million people every year, and you were okay with that? It makes no sense. So the change will come. Car ownership will change. The way we consume will change. And it's happening. There's no question about it. And there's a lot of All the big companies are very involved in that. It's a huge change. The question is, what's going to be the path towards this change?
Right. It's interesting, this thing about the kids. So they will say, our grandpa was an idiot, basically. He was driving a car.
Yes,
that was
absolutely.
not making sense at all.
Absolutely.
So one thing, by the way, Waze, huge success, is the exit public, I mean, the amount of the exit public, can I say it? Or it was a huge exit, let's say.
Yes.
So it was a huge exit. And what is the mission today?
So the mission today is, in a way, continue what we did. I mean, Waze was established in 2008 with a vision to create a community of drivers who share information to improve their commuting versus being a tourist. All the GPS, all the navigators before Waze were addressing a tourist. So you got into the car, you said, I don't know how to get to my destination. Okay, take your GPS or your sat-nav. Waze is the opposite. You know where you're going, you're commuting to work, you've been driving to work for 3 years. Let me give you information relevant to you. Better routes, police, accidents. And that actually was a huge change that we did. And the focus hasn't changed since then. We are all about making your commute, your transportation better, improve. Today it's with Waze alone. We are launching now a service of carpool. We launched it in Israel, in the US, where actually, since we know where you're commuting, you're driving anyway, why drive alone in the car? I mean, this is the Airbnb for vehicles. Every time you drive in your car and you have 4 empty seats in your car, you should be ashamed. You should feel embarrassed that you're not sharing this information, like Airbnb for vehicles. And in a way, we launched it in the US, in California, huge success for now. And the idea is that really getting people to drive anyway to work or to home. And if you go into a taxi and you're actually joining someone in their job location, Waze and the carpool is more getting someone into your house. And the experience is very, very good. People get to know other people, very interesting chats. Safety is very, very high because we know the people, we know where they're going, we have the credit card information. So that's something that we are really focused on in this year.
So you live in Silicon Valley?
I live actually in Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv, okay. But Waze has got, obviously. Yes. So for the ones in Silicon Valley, they have a new president. And the new president basically Trump said the climate change is a fake, okay? It's not true. But the 99% of the scientists in the world say that climate change is a big problem, of course. And one impact that driverless car will have is about environment, for instance. Where do you see the most interesting impacts from the driverless car, autonomous car?
I think that the impact is in multiple areas. Besides energy, which is very, very clear, sure. Most of the cars will be electronic. People will drive less. On top of that, the resources of infrastructure. Today, about 50% of the infrastructure in Milan, in Los Angeles, in any place in the world, is for cars, which is quite crazy. Think about all the roads, all the parking space. On average, every car has between 2 to 3 parking spaces every time, because it's being consumed 4% of the time. Most of the time, the car stays idle.
So you say 4% of the time is the usage of the car? And what's the percentage of the public space used?
So it's different in every city, between 50% to 70% in some cases.
50 to 70%,
yes.
Which is huge.
Which this huge asset can be used for other things beyond just roads and parking. And actually, this transportation, it's even a bigger change. Think about a very maybe useless room you have in the room today, in your house today, which is the kitchen. Think about a world that transportation is very, very simple, and you think about something that you want to eat, and you can find a way to get this food into your house in 15 minutes. Now we start thinking about why do I need a kitchen and why do I need a refrigerator with food that anyway I'm going to throw 50% at some point. I'm not a chef, so anything will get to me will be better than what I'm doing myself. Right. And now I have a free room, assuming I can get the food in 15 minutes. And this will happen. Don't ask me exactly when, but it's going to happen.
Interesting. So basically you have an impact on habits and decisions that people take because they will say, maybe I don't need a kitchen because I can have food in 15 minutes. Again, in Naples will not work, but in other cities it will. Interesting. No, it changed. So it's not, sorry guys, it's not ownership but usage basically.
Exactly.
You switch there.
The service.
The service.
We call it the term today is transportation as a service, food as a service. That's the big change that we see all over the world happening in front of us. For some of us who are above 40, it's a little bit hard to grasp. But if you think about people in the 20s today, car ownership is not very common. Why do I need to own a car? It makes no sense. Car is not an asset, it's a liability.
Right. Can I ask you a stupid question?
Of course.
Because I mean, you're so advanced. I was thinking about, okay, I get that technology is there, okay, for driverless car, and obviously regulation will be one topic. But do you think that human beings will desire not to drive a car? So, who likes to drive a car here? By the way, I don't like to drive a car, okay? But who likes? Okay, who doesn't like to drive a car? Okay, it was a stupid question. So people will not drive the car
That's enough.
Anymore. That's it. Enough. Okay, next.
By the way, we need to take out of the road about 10% of the vehicles, and there's no traffic anymore. So if Waze today help you to avoid traffic, the next step is actually to eliminate traffic.
And so do you imagine a future, like in 20 years, where basically our only driverless car and people is not driving anymore, and you know, these cars are going around delivering food or delivering people, basically?
Absolutely. There's no question it's going to happen.
Okay. And do you have a bet? It will be like a full ecosystem of players or government providing this service, because the risk is, you know.
So this is the billion-dollar question.
Right.
And unlike many other revolutions that happened by themselves and nobody actually saw it coming, it was a big surprise, this is a revolution that everybody is aware of that. And the end goal is very, very clear. The only question is how long and what is the path? Whether it's going to be government, whether it's going to be Apple, Google, Facebook, Uber, or other players.
Right.
There are many technologies, many services. Eventually, probably it's going to be 3 to 5 service providers. Car manufacturers, huge question.
Right.
What is their role in the game? They want to be, of course, the service. But if you think about mobile carriers and Apple and Google and the balance in how this environment changed, 10 years ago, Vodafone, Orange were the big brands. Today, it's Google and Apple.
Also because a major power is there. I mean, if they decide that they close your Facebook fan page today, tomorrow they close your car access.
Who owns the user?
Right.
It's not the car manufacturer. Who provides the service? And this is a big question. Everybody wants to be there, and we'll see.
One question, we just have 1 minute, but okay, mobility, and this is very, very fascinating topic, but I mean, you are in a position where you can spot a lot of interesting trends in digital. So I was curious if it's one particular trend that you see like very, very fascinating. It could be AI, virtual reality, whatever it is.
I think that for us, again, our main focus is mobility and the cars and the amazing improvement that happens in this area. There's tons of technologies and startups all doing all kind of pieces in this space. I think what is also interesting is the other side, not the car itself, but the municipality, the cities, or the smart cities. We have an initiative, we call it the Connected Citizen Program, where we actually work with municipalities how to network their city in order to give better service. And that's something that works very close with the mobility.
Very interesting. Samuel, it was a great pleasure, and it was your first time here in Milan for this kind
For this
of
event, yes.
Wow, okay, so a big round of applause. Samuel Keret, Waze.
Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you so much.
you.
All right.